So, we're back, yet again. Take a look at our corn. That little bottom's doing surprisingly well. I had issues 2 years ago with turkeys plucking out the seeds. But just showing you guys how wonderfully gorgeous this property is that I rent. A gentle creek crossing, much different than the one where I dumped that wagon load of corn. So that corn seems to be doing well. Planted some more corn over there. And the creek, lovely creek. But I gotta go way behind those trees to do some repairs. This is a little narrow, and get the planter through here. Hard to get the disc through here with the wings down. But way up there, had a breakdown. I planted that yesterday after we got the 2/10 of rain. We weren't super dry, but it wasn't that much. And luckily that storm fell apart, or else we would have probably had close to an inch of rain. It's just enough rain. A good reason to people why I'm not mowing their hay. They can't seem to understand that I do more than just hay. Okay, well, when we get up here, I might as well see the hill. This is an entertaining hill. We'll see if we can make it up. Well, it seems like a lot when you're walking up it. Now this whole top field used to look about as thin as this is. Yep, anhydrous applicator issues. I shouldn't park in my way. Yeah, we'll examine that as soon as I get oriented. Yeah, that's not a good sign. So somewhere back in here, I must have hit a gigantic rock. There's not enough trees close for roots. This is another new field. It used to look like that hillside. A very weak stand of whatever somebody was cutting for hay before. Very weak. Now, we had converted all of these to the smooth curved C shanks and got rid of this last curly one. Mostly because we've been breaking them all and they're a thinner shank. Well, not feeling like spending an hour and a half to go get another one. And put it back on. And what happened? You can see right there, it hit the frame, didn't have enough flex, and just snapped it right off. Clean break. So, and part of why it was up so far is we had a hitch back here. Didn't use it, but it was on here when we got it. Well, since that's not here, go ahead and take that off. If it had broken a different spot, I wouldn't even have to take it off because mount that other one in place. I guess I could get the impact and make this quick work. Let's do that. Impact time. So it's always fun when things like that break. See a big cloud of dust behind you. Had a little shower yesterday. Look at all the roots in that. So much nice fresh organic matter. It was a bare to disc though. I'm glad Brad did that. Because the chisel plowed up sod, and that was just lots of clumps, to say the least. it's finally looking like something up here. Okay, 15/16. We got a winner. Don't get lost. Really impact, so I can be lazy. Now, I'll probably end up getting a new Shank when we're less busy, to replace this curly one again. But it's nice to have around when something like this happens. Come on. Sorry about that, guys. Up until now, everything's been going okay. I thought I just broke one of these bolts. It's fairly common. You'll shear one, put a new bolt in, and go on your way. Nope. Didn't happen. And I think I know what my problem was. Which I had too good of bolts holding the knife on. And unfortunately that was my weak point. Well, that's an expensive weak point. What is today? It's June 6th. Okay. I'm ready to get a new shank. So expensive. The problem is I can't see this one. It used to be out there on the edge. I don't know if I'll put a closer on it. Or ground's tilled enough. And it should collapse back over no problem. For the longest time I carried an extra knife with us. But I think I need to get an extra knife because we don't have any extra knives right now. Dad was piecing them back together. Part of it would break off. And he would literally cut the old ones apart to get the guards and the points or whatever was good off of it to re-weld. So if we snapped, let's say the long part of the shank, something right there, then and a lot of them we'd break the tips off and he'd cut that whole front part of the knife off and weld it back on. Guess these knives aren't made for that much abuse. Okay. Do we have a socket that big? They're 1 1/8. Should have known they're 1 1/8. I just took this off 3 weeks ago. I thought a lovely sound. I was doing so well this morning. Had a super full tank, got it up to 90%. Go forever today. Hopefully I get this one centered enough. Keep it straight. That's not a problem with these. They got the curl and you hit something and they'll twist on you. I don't know if I want to try to make the closer fit. Can I? We'll see. We shall see. Of course, this middle one had a mole tip. And the stupid thing about the mole tips, the main part of the knife is a thinner material than just the plain smooth-sided knives. It's getting close. Might be too much, actually. That looks straight. So, yep, everybody's planting beans right now. I haven't seen anybody still planting corn in our area. I don't know why, like, everybody's going crazy for beans. Not that they planted much corn. There's some corn around. Shoot, there's one guy around here, I'm sure he farms 1,000 acres or more, and all he plants is beans every year. Beans, 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 beans. I hate beans. I don't know why, I just don't like beans. I mean, they're okay. But nothing gets me going like corn. You show me a field of corn, gets my motor running. Tell me we're going to plant corn? Oh yeah. We're going to harvest corn? Woo, it's a party. We're going to do anything with beans? You know. That looks straight-ish. So yeah, everybody's going crazy planting beans, so if that's like a nationwide trend, which I'm sure it was, reading things in the magazines and newspapers, about we're going to have a record number of bean acres this year. Well, definitely not going to have a record high on prices. Okay, that one's coming back as tight. So I'm hoping with turning up some fresh sod and all the clover that was in many of these fields where I'm at. I've got 65 acres in this one holding. Biggest field might be 15 acres. My goal is not to break this thing. Hoping to hit a home run on corn. At least yield-wise. We'll see what prices do. I surprised myself with how well I held corn over, though. How well it stored at 17 and 17.5% or so. Just keep running the fan. Grinds well for the chickens and cows. Keep it cool and most any buyer's happy, and you figure they're hopefully feeding it fast enough. Okay, of course that's a sandwich guy. Didn't use the impact as much as I wanted to. This would have been lovely to moldboard plow. I just gotta learn how to do that. But when you think about it, we've got a 4-bottom international. So 418s, woo, we're turning 6 foot of dirt. And chisel plow twice as fast. And a gear higher, twice as wide. Yep. Nice, clean snap, not like it had been waiting for me for a while, just right there. Okay, 3/4 inch wrenches. I got a handful of those bolts in the tractor, and 3/4 inch wrenches for it. A lovely toolbox. This thing doesn't have one yet. And I'm thinking of putting some shorter, softer bolts in. That's not one of those. These are. Just to save a shank, maybe. What on are these? Row number 6, it's row number 4. Or 2. This one was even loose. Probably should put the cluster back on. The other thing is it pulled the hose off, so now I gotta see if I didn't pull the line too tight and break it off, say, with the regulator. But I guess we're doing okay. Didn't get too much rain last night. Got a nice early start this morning. Right now we're waiting on Dad to bring home some more starter fertilizer. Well, we ordered some last week and didn't get until today, so I planted until I was out of fertilizer yesterday. All of Dad's corn away from home was planted. A whopping 18 or 19 acres. Well, you can see it's tried that bolt. There's some bending action there. You see how long the shank was. Now on these other ones I brought out, there's more thread to them than smooth shank. Well, I guess Anhydrous gets through that. I'm shooting right out somewhere. Somewhere. Okay. I'm just gonna assume that's sterile. Yeah, I don't know, let's compare. See how thick these are. Hopefully you guys can see that. But that's like 3/8 versus a ½ an inch. So these are much sturdier. And the multi-tip's supposed to have more action. Of course, we chipped this one off, and I guess it's going in the ground okay. So it's supposed to till up the soil a little bit more. That's why we went with a multi-tip, thinking, oh, what's this disc, and not chisel plow, and use the multi-tips to try to chisel plow. This is the last one we have left. If it breaks, well, it breaks. Ooh. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the multi-tips. Where did your nut go? I got extra nuts. Didn't loosen any of these. I find that little bit of play will be somewhat beneficial. That way it's not sandwiched in here and will break the bolts instead of break the shank. The closer is going to sit right down here against this. That's not going to get good range of motion. For the longest time we went no closers because we didn't really, all the originals are original to us, where the paddles are kind of those scoopy things with the cable. None of those were worth much. The paddles just caught grass. And the cable scoopy things, they caught grass also. If you got finely tilled ground in your side dress in the middle of the season when there's no organic matter on top, you'd survive. Okay. That's tight enough for me. Put my hose back on. It was nice we had rain. wash the back window of the 14 off. Just enough. I'll see if we get gassed out the first time, but I don't see any brakes on this. That would have just pulled tight there. Can't see anything up at the regulator. Not gonna be able to. We're having a lovely cool day, super cool, like very much spring weather. It's on there a little far enough. It's because of the lovely rain we got. It took all weekend for it to get here. Oh, come on. Come on, tighten. You got too much dirt in ya. I got another one up there I can borrow. Really? Come on. It'd be lovely if you tighten up. Ah, well. Yeah, we're trading you in. Let's see, I'd like to finish up corn over here today. Should we get fertilizer now? I will have it shortly. Lots of anhydrous and Brad's more than ready to go disking. Trying to decide whether I hear him or if that's the neighbors. Sounds more like Brad though. The neighbors are out with a I don't know, a 94 series case. Oh geez, this one's junk. Well, I'll put 2 on there and hopefully these 2 things are enough. Since they're both scrapped. And I didn't bring enough. Yep, I just stripped that. Okay, pretend like you're tight. Don't come off. Don't leak. Closer or no closer? Yeah, let's go no closer. So these are set up, the C shank's a wider style than that. And looking how far and where the bolts are at, there's a setting for the narrower shanks, but I don't have the plate on the other side to match the holes. Where does this thing go? That's gonna rub. Yeah, I don't have room. With my approximations, I don't have room. Always bring a jug of water when doing anhydrous, just in case. Since this thing doesn't have its own water thing on it. Well, that's a quick knife exchange. Hopefully get back to it.